Dark rye, Kentucky straight rye whiskey blended with Canadian rye whiskey. What? And also port bottles or port barrels. It's 40% alcohol. And just look at the color there.
Yeah, that color's beautiful. I noticed that when I poured it. It's, yeah.
Wow. And it's got this lovely little tunic with a belt on it. It's quite stylish.
How cute. Let's see. I love it. That's a nice color. It goes well with my autumnal hue.
Oh, indeed.
Are you a fall? Are you a fall?
I'm a winter, actually. But I do well in fall. But you know what? This is pastel, so one would suggest that I do well in spring. I think I'm just gorgeous, and I can't do anything wrong.
You can't do anything wrong. Oh.
I think you'll get no argument here.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
This... We're the Jessica fan club,
well,
basically.
except for that dance. Except for that dance.
Fuck you, Andrew!
We have notes for the dance that we'll give you later. This to me smells very much like a scotch.
It does.
It smells very much like a scotch to me.
It's got caramel right at the top.
Right in the front.
Yeah.
Which is something you get more from the malted barley.
I see. So wait, how are you getting scotch if there's not necessarily peat in this?
Well, not all scotch has peat.
Yeah, this smells like a Highland to me, or a I think, or a Speyside.
Right. I think the scotches that when people taste scotch and someone tries to give them something peated like Lagavulin or Laphroaig or an Ardbeg or something, and that just really punches them in the tongue with the campfire, I think that turns people off scotches immediately. To me, it was the opposite. It was like, I want more of that flavor.
Yeah, me too.
But I think that's what people react to when they say they don't like scotch. So we're going to have some stuff that, anyways, let's concentrate on where we are. Let's be in the now like improvisers.
Fuck that.
Okay. What are you doing tomorrow then?
I don't know. I have to look at my schedule. Ooh, that does have a scotch on it though.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm getting like a root beer, like an anise, sort of a, this tastes, that's quite, like, it doesn't taste like scotch to me. The smell is scotch, but the flavor is, and it's not like even a bourbon flavor. There's an interesting sweetness to it, like a syrupy.
I was just going to say it had maple. It has maple on it for sure.
Yeah.
That was my
first yes, maple. And this feels like it's a lot of port. A lot of the port. Like this was a fresh barrel or something to put in there.
I just exhaled wood. That's how, there's a lot of wood in this.
Oh,
I don't know port well enough to be like port, you know?
Yeah. No, that very much. Now that you say port, I'm like, yeah, that's totally what I'm tasting.
Oh, just that rich kind of, fortified wine kind of reduced wine reduction on the tongue. Just that.
Yeah.
Oh, that just like almost cooked. It's cooking. It's,
Yeah. I went through a port
just like
phase
if
for a while.
you've done a wine reduction on something and it's just that kind of really just gooey, yummy.
Ooh.
Yeah, but port has that sweetness to it. It's got that sort of.
I don't get a lot of sweetness out of this. Maybe
Really?
it's the rye that's knocking it down.
Oh, that's right. This is a rye.
What would be the distinguishing factors aside from the type of grain that is used in bourbon and rye? What are the distinguishing factors typically?
Well, the two main factors in it are the grains that they use and
I said besides the grain, Andrew.
And the types of barrels that they use. Okay, I was getting there. The type of distillation they say can matter too. The shape of the kettles when they distill it might matter. The angle of the vent tube at the top of the still can matter.
Well, I guess what I'm asking is what are the flavors I'm looking for here?
Well, if you think to eating a cob of corn versus eating a piece of rye bread, the corn has got this sweetness and this brightness to it, and the rye is going to have that kind of little rye flavor.
Anise.
I don't know, what is it, like a kind of bitter kind of anise kind of thing, right? And you're going to feel that in the taste of the whiskeys as well. Now, both of these were kind of influenced by port wine barrels, which gives it a little bit more push towards the wine end of the spectrum.
It's got a sister. They both are sisters. They're sister whiskeys.
Yeah.
What is the difference between a bourbon and a rye, Andrew?
A bourbon, I believe, must be 51% corn, and it can be up to, obviously then 49% rye, but it might be rye, it might be wheat, it might be something else they put in there. To be a bourbon, I believe it must be 51% corn. I think that's the appellation. To be a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, it must be done in Kentucky.
Ah.
Just like, you know.
So a rye is more than 50% rye.
Yes.
Is there any rye that's completely rye with no corn in it?
I think that would be a really difficult thing to drink, but there probably is. I don't know enough about rye, really.
All right, it's time for science for me.
Okay.
I love seeing like the dance of the water in the whiskey. Such a pretentious way to put it.
I love that.
No, when you put the water, it like makes like little oil squiggles.
I do like how much you look like a heroin addict enjoying whiskey when you wave that syringe around. It's like, yeah, oh, this is so good.
Right in there.
The only real way to enjoy whiskey is intravenously. I don't know. Yeah, still very much the same to me.
The nose doesn't seem to change to me.
Yeah,
It's definitely just smoother. That's all.
yeah, maybe a little less burn.
A little less, but I guess what I'm amazed by, especially because I've never like sat next to 3 different whiskeys or 4 different whiskeys and been forced to test them. And
Are we forcing you? Wow.
Do you want to bitch for a second?
You said forcing.
I've never done a flight. I've never done a satting, and here we are. And so, you're forcing me.
I don't water. I don't like the taste of it. To me, it's like it tastes like flat Coke or soda, like that's been sitting out.
Flat Coke, yes. I get a little bit of that. Now, it'd be interesting if you have an ice cube and you want to drop a little bit of ice in there, just to see if that modifies the flavor.
Yeah,
Am I forcing you to do this, Jessica? I don't want to force you to do this.
I quite liked it, but with the water, I don't like it. Like it's a subtle change, but I don't like it with the water.
Yeah, I get that flat Coke. That's it. It's that syrupy.
Yeah.
Coke with the fizz is kind of exciting, but with this, it's just
the syrup, just watery syrup.
You dropped a cube in there.
I was gonna say, Joseph, earlier, I hate whiskey rocks. It seems so pointless.
Do you? But you said you like. Well, I'm getting mixed.
She might like the way the water interacts with it as well to knock down the alcohol and also chill it so the sweetness comes down. That could be it.
Yeah, I'm not in love.
No.
I don't hate it.
I mean, it's not a bourbon. It's not the sweetness of the corn. This is definitely rye. This is definitely on that end of the spectrum. This is like
it could be like 10 cc's though. I'm not in love. Oh no. It's because
whatever that line is. We just know.
Yeah, I think also since I've been having like more scotches, I find that putting ice into whiskey takes away the thing that makes it like a scotch for me. And since I really like scotches, like it's occasionally like when I have a good bourbon, it's like, it still has that same sort of stuff in it. But now it's like ice makes it like, I don't know, not like that.
I hate it.
Oh no.
It's okay. That's why we try things. Sometimes they work.
It's great.
Yeah, I'm glad you loved it. Look at your mouth. Yeah.
No, I mean it's awesome that I could learn that not ice in all things.
Right. And I think it's also good to do it with the whiskey that you like to drink and to know, oh, this is the way I like it. So you can go to the bar and when you do get it, you go, just neat. Don't put anything in this, or please put an ice cube in. But you've tasted it in those different ways. And I think that's part of the learning experience of like really knowing what that liquid is that you enjoy.
I think I'm like, I think I don't want to even finish this after putting water in it. This is the first time I've ever done this, but and let me be clear. I liked it before I put water in it, but now it's like, I do not want any more of that. So I would not recommend water.
I dumped it out.
Yep. I just splashed it in my eye.
And I feel like I still have a bad, God, like, This is going so off the rails.
Oh, that's because
Don't-
I'm here.
Don't put water in this, and don't put it in your eye. That's
I
what
was
we've
swirling
learned.
around and went like this, and it just went shtick.
Jesus
No,
Christ.
I still have a bad aftertaste from that. Like from the water. Like I still, like I don't.
Same, dude.
Yeah.
Same.
This is
Don't
this
like
is
it.
this is what we call a 2 red dot in our nomenclature. Do not put water in this.
Do not put water in it. Yeah.
And yeah, I'm with y'all.
All right. What do we got? What's next? I'm ready to move on to the next thing because
I'm kind of seeing spots now. Hang on a second.
I want.
Oh,
Okay.
no,
Let's take a.
Andrew.
Do you need to take a break?
It's probably because I rubbed my eye so hard. That's
Why don't
probably
you
what it was.
Why don't you rinse it out, my friend?
Oh no. Yeah. That's a tragedy.
Oh, pussycat. What's the tragedy?
He's just hungry all the
Oh,
time.
the poor thing. The torture is never ending, is it?
Exactly.
They never feed you. The beatings are frequent.
I'm not gonna
Always.
lift him up, but this is what's underneath my desk right here.
Oh,
Oh,
There's a little ottoman down there. He's
how
living on.
cute.
Yeah.
I've got a little girl over here on a table, and then the biggest one, who's like 22 pounds, is somewhere else. Oh, she's in the bed.
holy, that's a tiger.
I'll have to show you, just for fun.
22 pounds. Oh my God, I thought my cat was heavy at 18. Oh
Oh my goodness. Look at that.
Oh,
Look at that. Look at that lump.
Kelly Loman loves
goodness.
this one. Say hi, Blue. Hi.
hi, Blue.
There's a Blue.
Oh, I love it when you just pick a cat up and it's like, whatever. Whatever.
He's the buddy. He's a boy. Are you a boy?
Yeah. My cats are very affectionate, but you can't really pick them up that well. Bowie sometimes, but Chloe's like, no.
The little girls hates it, but it's all their personality. It's just getting to know them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so fun watching Nick Clark with his kitten because he's like,
That cat will take anything.
well, but it's also a kitten, you know what I mean? And he's like, this is great. And then we were like, he might not always be like that. He's like, no. He's like watching him like, he might at a certain point decide he doesn't want you to pick him up.
He may hate that cat when it turns into that.
It's true. You never know what's going to happen when they get
It's true.
older.
It's true.
Yeah. So where were we? What's our next drink? Let me get this flavor out of my mouth.
Honestly, it's still here, right? Isn't that
Yeah,
sad?
it's still lingering. That's
How's your eye, Andrew?
it's fine. It's rinsed now.
Yikes.
Yeah. See, if you're serious about whiskey, you put it in your eye. Here's mud in your eye.
This
right?
is eye
That's
tasting. This is what's going
Yeah,
on.
eye
there.
tasting is that's the new thing.
Oh my God, kids do that. They put alcohol in their eyes to get drunk quicker.
Mhm.
You know that,
And also
right?
in other orifices.
Why?
Oh yes, also other orifices. I guess Stevie Nicks has cocaine blown up her butt so that she doesn't hurt her vocal cords.
Come on, that is an urban legend.
It is, but that's a pretty interesting thing.
Who blows it up her butt?
She has an assistant.
She has there's probably a
No, you
intern
can't
or
pay
something.
someone enough to do that.
Yes,
There's
you
an
can.
intern, an internal intern.